Hi, this video is just to talk about the moon transparency issue, which was causing stars to show behind the moon. So let's hit play and just demonstrate the new shader for the stars has solved that problem. So if I line up to look at the sky, we should see the moon come up around here. And let's just speed up the rotation of the Earth and everything, and shortly we should see the moon rise over the horizon. I can see it in the scene view. There it comes. So I've slowed it down, and we want to see a point where it gets close to some stars. Right, that looks like it's going to collide. So what we're looking for is, if I just turn the clouds off, so clouds, I should turn that off and turn that off. Now we can see the stars more easily. So we can see the stars are on that star is on a trajectory to go behind the moon. And what was happening is the transparent area of the moon was, of course, letting the stars that are behind twinkle through here, when in fact, the moon isn't transparent here. It's just the scattered light in daytime and twilight is more powerful than the grey area or black area of the moon, and the trick that I'm using is to use transparency to let the skybox shine through, rather than trying to emulate any other clever way of getting a gradient or the correct color of scattered light at this point in the sky, which would be very tricky to achieve. So I hope this is going to go behind it. Let's just speed it up, and we should see now that when it goes behind the moon, it mysteriously disappears for some reason, which is what it's supposed to do, and then I'll talk it through how it achieves that. So speed up the orbit. Oh, the moon's going too far away. It was a bad candidate. Right, I just went too fast there. There's one went behind it there, and it's come out the other end. There, just come out now. Let's see if we can get another one. Another one has gone behind. We're about to collide, I think, but that's with the white bit. It's not ideal. Let's see if I can find another one. Here we go. Perfect. We just saw one disappear behind it, and so as the moon goes past, it's come out the other side. So we can see the moon is obscuring things even in the shadow or in the transparent area. So how's that being achieved? I wonder if I can just show one more, just in case you missed that. I think that's going to miss it. Yeah. Doesn't look like there's any that it's going to hit. No, we'll have to settle for the ones we saw. Okay, that would do. Well, we did see it, or it's there, and you can rewind the video if you missed it. In the scene view below, we can see the moon being lit as a crescent from the sun, and also the twinkling stars in the canopy. But now it's only in the sort of hemisphere above our landscape here. And it's cut off, or no stars are visible in the big. All the stars are formed in a big sphere that go right round the globe, but they're not being displayed at this, so we'll come to that as well. That's something I wanted to achieve. So let's put the clouds back. You can see the clouds and the stars go all the way around, just like the clouds do. Let's put those clouds back as well. And let's show our star shader. So to talk through how that effect was achieved, we'll work across from the left to the right. As always, you've got the vertex and the fragment. So the vertex, you can see we're not changing anything about the star's position or its normals or tangents or anything. We're only changing the star's fragment node, and the things we're changing are the base color and the alpha. So what we're changing about the base color is we are sampling, we're taking the UV channel and a texture, and that's the moon texture, and that's being fed in to give us the pixel color for the moon, the picture of the moon. And we've got the alpha as well being fed in, so the image of the moon has an alpha channel. So that's being fed into our base color. That's our image. Nothing special about that. That's fairly bog standard. But then what we do is, oh sorry, I've been talking about the moon. I meant the star. This is the star's texture being fed in. We're in a star shader. I'm going to get rid of that moon shader. It's distracting me. We're into the star shader, and so the image of the star is being fed in to the base color. Then what we're doing is multiplying it by a value coming out of this branch. So the alpha value of the star is coming in here. It's getting multiplied by whatever we're coming in here, and then the output is finally what's used for the alpha. So there's we're all or nothing. Depending on the decision made here, we either use a 0 or a 1, all or nothing, and we multiply the image alpha by 1, let the image be the image, or we multiply it by 0 and totally annul the image and have total transparency coming through to our pixel. So let's follow this branch from the beginning. What we're doing is when the star is in line with the moon, from the viewer's perspective, that is, we want to make the star transparent as well, and that makes it disappear. So that's the logic that's the strategy being taken. So we've got a couple of inputs coming into this into this shader, the moon position. So every 20 frames, the moon position is being sent to this shader or the material for the stars. So if we look at the stars, it's a particle system, and it's using this Dan star shader, and that material has that star texture, but you can see here the viewer position and the moon position, which are the viewer position, moon position, and moon radius, are being updated every 20 physics frames with the moon's new position. So what that does is that's one of our starting variables. The viewer position is in here, and then the position of the star. And what we want to do is know whether they are on the same line of sight from the viewer to the star. Is it in the same line of sight as the viewer to the moon? But you also have to account for the fact that the moon has a certain radius, and so the star could be within a sort of a cone around that the vector from the player to the moon. So what I've done to my strategy for this is to say, well, let's take the star's position and project the star to being at the same radius from the viewer as the moon is. And then what we can do is we can then take the difference between the moon's position and that projected star position and say, well, let's just subtract the two values and see if the distance between the center of the moon and the projected star location is within the radius, the moon radius, and if it is, then that means the moon's obscuring it. So it's a fairly simple approach, and it works quite nicely, as you saw earlier. So we've got the moon's apparent position or relative position to the viewer, the moon position minus the viewer's position. We do something similar for the relative position of the star. So there's the absolute position of the star, and we deduct the viewer position to get the relative position of the star. We just want that vector as a unit vector. We take the length, the actual distance of the moon from the viewer as the full length of that, and multiply up the direction of the star by the length of the distance of the moon, so that we're projecting the star to be at the same radius or distance from the viewer. And then, having got this new projected position from the star, we want to know, does it coincide with the moon? So we subtract the moon's actual center from the projected star center, and we look at the having subtracted that, what is the distance or the length of that discrepancy, and compare it with the moon's radius. So if it's less than or equal to the moon's radius, then we want to obscure it. So that comes in here as a true, and when it's true, it sends out true, and we use 0. So we've got a alpha value of 0, so it's transparent. It gets fed through in here because 0 times whatever's coming from the image is going to be an invisible pixel. On the other hand, if it's not, it could be, if the star is completely some other place in the sky, then it's, even when you project it to the same distance away as the moon, the length is never going to be anywhere like the radius. So this is going to be much bigger than the radius. It's going to come in here as a false. And so we're going to say we want to use the actual pixel color from the image, so we're just going to multiply by 1. So pixel image color multiplied by 1 doesn't change it, and we get the pixel color, and any alpha in that in the image comes through as it should. So what's this other channel here, this other branch? Why is there an OR? Well, this is about the way I only wanted the stars to, I didn't want them coming all the way around the globe here, because they're not visible in the game. It's just when you make the particle system, the options for shapes of particle systems are, I'm using a sphere of the right radius to go around my globe. But the actual land of the game is only this small section here. So the horizon line is here. This is a line y equals 0. So I'm only wanting to show the stars above y equals 0, above the horizon. So that's this one. So for the star position, we're interested in its x, y, z, its y position, and we're saying compare its y position. If it's less than 0, then it's not visible in the game. So let's just blank it out. And so that's the other condition where the stars are invisible. So quite simple, but also satisfyingly effective. So that's it for this episode. Bye bye.